Okay, I know I've been leaving which how to Holocure video I do for each week up to a vote, but it's the last week of November, I really need to cover Ayunda Risu. Risu's main weapon, Nuts, throws cashew nuts in front of her, and at max level she'll throw even more nuts and they'll bounce around on the screen. Her special attack, Big Nuts, releases a blast that stuns enemies and then drops 5 acorns that explode, dealing damage to anything they hit. I think you're starting to see a theme with her kit here. Her first skill, D's, allows Nuts to also have a small chance to damage an enemy based on their health so long as they are not a boss. It's a 20% chance to deal about 25% of an enemy's HP at max level, and most importantly, it completely ignores any damage modifiers. While this means you can't buff the damage in any way with stamps or items, it also means that any debuffs applied to you, either from trade-off items or the Reddit Nikki that applies debuffs to you, won't do anything either. Her next skill, Non-Stop Nuts, makes it so that whenever Risu defeats an enemy, there's a chance for the target to release 8 nuts that spread out in separate directions, dealing damage equal to that of her main weapon. Her last skill, DLC, allows Risu to gain holo coins every 3 seconds, and after she collects coins at 5 different times, she'll create a clone that follows her movements for 15 seconds. From my observations, the clone can only attack with Risu's main weapon, and it only deals a reduced amount of damage, but you can have up to 3 of them. The big issue with DLC is that if you only rely on its passive coin generation to get your clones, you're going to be stuck with only one clone and unable to make full use of the skill, meaning you'll need a way to generate holo coins. DLC procs on the frequency of which you get holo coins and not on the number of coins you get. For example, if you pick up 3 coins in one go, you won't get a clone because that only counts as getting holo coins a single time. However, if you pick up 3 coins 10 different times, you'll get 2 clones since it counts each time you picked up a holo coin. It's kind of like Fauna's Guardian tree, where it doesn't matter how much healing you get from each proc, but rather the number of times you proc the healing effect. As such, your 2 best bets for keeping DLC maxed out to get coins is either the Greed Stamp or Stolen Piggy Bank. The Greed Stamp is usually better because item slots should generally be used to buff your character, but since you can't control when the stamp will drop, I personally think Stolen Piggy Bank is better since it appears in the level up quite often, and can maintain 3 coins at level 1 so long as you are moving. Also, it's thematically appropriate since Risu is the one who stole the Stolen Piggy Bank. On the topic of stamps, it should be noted that nuts thrown by your clones are affected by any stamps you put on your main weapon. I think the nuts from Non-Stop Nuts are as well, which means that the stamps you get can really be a much more massive boon when compared to other characters. I personally recommend the Bomb Stamp, as it's the premier stamp for multi-shot weapons, as well as some debuff stamp, like the Flower Stamp. Since the nuts thrown by your clones and Non-Stop Nuts both have their damage based on your main weapon, items which increase your main weapon's damage are a boon, so Piki Pika Piman is an excellent item for Risu. I also recommend Jinkisakan if you're going for Piki Pika Piman, since 100 extra health is a massive damage buff with the item. I would also recommend at least one defensive item, since Risu's kit lacks any defensive capabilities and is focused purely on projectile spam. So that's Risu. Did you know that cashews are technically not nuts? They're fruits. Anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for future videos, and happy holocuring.